Good morning, 7th graders. Yeah, today we're focusing on our introductions of our argumentative essays. We are going to be rough drafting it, and today I just really wanted to show you the format so that you're hitting all the things that you need to hit when you're introducing your argumentative topic. So this sheet is called Boxes and Bullets, Argumentative Essay Structure. It is sentence starters, and it just helps us kind of format the direction of our intro. Tomorrow, we're going to focus on body paragraph, but today we're going to start with our introduction and putting it together. So, with an argumentative essay, you want to start with defining the debate, saying what the debate is, the argument, the issue. So, here are two ways you can start a sentence with it. Here's this one. Some think that competitive sports should be allowed at schools, and others believe that it shouldn't, like saying what the problem is. An issue that is being discussed right now is if competitive sports should be banned from schools. Straight to the point, telling the audience what the problem is. Then, the next thing you want to do is make a clear claim. So this is where you get a little bit of your voice in. You're not going to say like, well, I believe this. You're going to say something like, it's clear that overall competitive sports should be allowed in schools. Or, it is clear that competitive sports shouldn't be allowed in schools because of all the research that points to it being a negative effect on our youth. Yeah, so you're just kind of saying a sentence saying, I support this, or I do not support this. Shows the stance, kind of like our pros and cons worksheet. Then, you're going to forecast your reasons. This is your thesis. The thesis is the fancy schmancy wording, but first we're going to look at this. Second, we're going to explore this. And third, we're going to explore this. These are your main ideas, the 3 body paragraphs. So your thesis is just those big ideas that you're going to focus on that you have research beneath. So in competitive sports, maybe your first main idea is about how it creates injuries, especially like high contact sports. And then you're going to have evidence and data underneath it saying your point. Or maybe your next point would be how it actually helps students with academics and school culture, because we want to have some positives in there. But ultimately, is it worth it with all of the concussions and all of the negative effects that can come from it, and maybe bad sportsmanship? And then your third point could be, I'm not sure, I have to think about it a little bit more. But that's kind of going off the top of my head. But you're picking big topics, and then you're going to be connecting that research and evidence that we have been looking at. So that's basically the introduction. What I want to show you is my flash draft. So here is my flash draft, and then I also used that rubric that I showed you a couple days ago. So here is my setup. This paper, Tasia Hoffman, Language Arts. I'm going to say maybe I'm hour 2. Sometimes it's even better if you can't, like anything under 10 should be written out. But I'm just going to say that. Same hour 2, argumentative paper. I have my due date, and then I have a nice catchy title. Competitive sports are hurting our youth. What? What do you mean? I shall read more because this sounds so interesting. All right, so this is a very basic flash draft I did a couple years ago. I just typed it up. It's very rough. But first you want to define the debate. And I'm going to delete this right here because honestly, you shouldn't have that written. I just want you to see it. Competitive sports have been allowed in schools for many years, but is this what is really healthy for our kids? Is it? Is it? All right, next I want to say my claim. An issue that is being discussed is if competitive sports should exist in schools and if they really make a difference in the quality of student education. It's clear that overall schools don't need competitive sports due to all the injuries they cause. That's my thesis. That's my first main point. How expensive they are for families. What? Sports are expensive? Honestly, I was on the dance team in high school, and I think we got a t-shirt for everything. It was so expensive. Someone sneezed, we got a t-shirt. I don't know. Seriously. Very expensive. But anyway, and lastly, the mental stress and pressure that puts on developing youth. So that's sometimes when parents want it more than their kids when it comes to athletics, or they're feeling pushed or strained, or it's causing a lot of mental stress, anxiety, things like that. So that is very, very basic. Let's see if I follow that format. Define the issue, we talked about the claim, it's clear that overall, and then we did our thesis. Yes, check, check, and a check. So some introductions have a backstory. If people don't know a lot about competitive sports, maybe they want to add more backstory to this introduction. If yours is on, someone did like something on boba tea, I have no idea what that is. Please tell me what that is. Or if you're going to talk about something that many people don't know about, a backstory about the argument and the issues, that actually like pulls the reader in more. Acknowledging both sides in your introduction is going to be important, and saying like, oh, although, people believe this, others believe this. Really making sure that you kind of balance that. Mine's a little one-sided. The thesis, and then reasons for supporting the thesis, which I don't have here. So this is what's on the rubric to kind of add and to beef up your introduction. So I want to beef this up a little bit, and then we're going to take a look at this tomorrow and then talk about the 3-body paragraph. So today is about drafting, getting into your introduction. What I want you to do when you feel good about your draft, you can screenshot it, or you can screenshot it, and then you're going to submit that in for your work for today because I want to see it. So talk to you soon.